Welcome to Let's Talk TCI Real Estate, a show that is geared towards talking about all things real estate in the Turks and Caicos Islands. You've heard me say from time to time, that I get excited when I'm talking about real estate. Definitely, I do. And today is also a day where I am excited to have with me in studio someone from North Caicos, the soil of North Caicos, where we will be shedding a spotlight on the island. I must apologize. We tried to do this show previously, but we had a few technical difficulties. So therefore, we are in studio today, and we're going to get it right as we speak about North Caicos, highlighting all the good things about what the islands have to offer. Like I said before, I have in studio with me my guest in the person of Mr. Jasmin Walkin. He's the newly appointed District Commissioner of North Caicos. I must say, welcome to Let's Talk TCI Real Estate. Welcome.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you with me today, Jazz, like I've said previously. And I would, at this time, invite you to introduce yourself. And also, while you're introducing yourself, if you can give me just a brief, synopsis of what does a district commissioner do in North Caicos? What's the role of the district commissioner?
Well, thank you for having me on your show. My name is Jasmin Walkin. I think most of you know me as Jazz. Since the 3rd of April, I've been in office as the District Commissioner for North Caicos. The District Commissioner is responsible for general oversight of the government services and operations in North Caicos. Along with that, we have responsibility for disaster management. We have responsibility to coordinate disaster preparedness and response. And that's a big responsibility, as you can imagine. The DC also has responsibility to oversee the public works on the island, as well as government projects. So it's our job, whatever capital project is being done on the island, to observe and report, so to speak. And if the contractor isn't meeting the timetable, or reports of non-satisfaction is being reported, it's the DC job to bring that to the attention of the contractor as well as the government. The other thing I would say is critical to the role of the DC is to promote economic livelihood on the island. So not necessarily directing the activity per se, but anything that would stimulate the economy, we have a role in promoting that as DC.
Okay, so basically, this office of the DC acts like a little local government within the country, within the island.
Yes, definitely. It's the intention, even though it's not being executed at the moment, it's for it to be a one-stop shop for customer service for persons, and to be an extended arm of government, the central government within the island. So yes, a form of local government.
Right. Okay. Well, that sounds very interesting. Just so you know, that we did have the former District Commissioner, Ms. Sinclair Musgrove, on the show previously, where she also did a spotlight on North Caicos, which was a very, very informative and very lively show as well. And so far, I know she has been doing a great job in North Caicos. So I wish you all the best moving forward in your role as you pick up this mantle and you continue to run forward with the great work for North Caicos. Great. So again, you're from North Caicos. You are passionate about the island of North Caicos. Would you say that the culture of North Caicos, is it alive? North Caicos, tell us about what is North Caicos culture, because I feel like every island is different in its own way. Tell us what we consider to be North Caicos culture, and is it alive?
I would say to a great extent, it is alive. Not as much as it should be. I think that can be said for every island in this country, but it's alive. Now, a lot of people define culture based on certain aspects of what we do and what we can share. I define culture first by starting with people.
Yes.
People is the most important element of culture. So coming to North Caicos, the greatest element of our culture you would experience is the people. There is no people like North Caicos people. There is no, trust me, a few minutes with us and whatever is on your mind that's troubling you, I promise you, you'll forget about it because we're gonna make you laugh. We're gonna tell you a story and true stories,
And true stories.
that is just gonna warm your heart. And we're kind. We share what we have. We don't believe in seeing our neighbor go without. And so that's why we're so warm to visitors. I've heard visitors say that they come to North Caicos and they needed a favor and they offered money for services, and we said no, no, you're a visitor.
Right.
That's how we were warm. And a part of our culture that I think we don't get enough credit for is our innovation, in our drive.
Yes.
We are ambitious people.
Okay.
We every sector of this economy in this country, there's a North Caicos person leading it. You can do your Jacksonville, but it is what it is. So that to me is a part of our culture. The food, the artistry, farming, most of the organic part of TCI in terms of culture originated from North Caicos, and so as the DC, I want to revive some of that, like boat building.
Right.
We led the Turks and Caicos as a boat building, craftsmanship, arts and craft. There's a building in Whitby that we're about to work on to reestablish the art center. To encourage artistry, poetry, performing arts, so to speak. So culture-wise, I am excited about what we have now and what we're about to do.
Okay, so you talked about craftsmanship, boat building, and whatever else. I guess I'll ask this question now. So, what makes North Caicos different from other islands? Are these some of the points that makes it different, or are there additional things that you would say will cause North Caicos to stand out compared to other islands?
Well, definitely, that's what makes us different, because those aspects of our national culture we have led in that. Others have followed. We don't follow the law. We just lead.
Okay.
And I see it as like a little expression. We just lead.
We just lead.
We get up and do us. We resilient. We work hard. And what stands us out from the rest of the country is we're not afraid to do things first.
Right.
So the boat building, we did it earlier in the year because of necessity.
Right.
So there was a trade that created economic activity, shipping, back and forth, sea transport, nationally and internationally. It was a way of life.
Right.
It's unfortunate that as things develop, we have lost that part of our culture, but that was actually part of our economic culture.
Right.
And I see possibilities where we can now promote it, not just from a cultural perspective, but again, from an economic perspective. Tourists and visitors want something original.
Right.
It's easy to jump on a motorboat and take a ride over to a key.
Right.
But I don't know how familiar you are with Battle Creek, but you come into the creek, that water is always calm. Imagine a sailboat ride from a creek mouth up to Toby Rock. I mean, it's just like none other. So I see North Caicos, based on the physical characteristics that we have, matched with the resiliency of the people and our ability to be innovative. I see that being the element that stands us out from the rest of TCI. And the last thing is, we're the easiest island to get to.
Great. So, you started talking about, Bottle Creek, and you mentioned about the sailboat. Definitely, to me, it seems like investment opportunities that haven't been tapped into.
Yeah.
But even before I get to that question, before I forget this, I want to ask you, North Caicos is normally referred to as the Green Island, right? Definitely, and people refer to as the island where you can do a lot of farming. What scale of farming is done on North Caicos, and do you see that farming scale increasing to commercial farming, and would it be beneficial for the island?
Well, North Caicos is called the Green Island, the Garden Island, the bread basket of the TCI. And I always say to them, I said, listen, time to put some bread in this basket. we have the potential is there, the basket is there. Right. The ground is there. Currently, we have a number of small farmers. The largest farm we have right now, I think, is our Pastor Courtney Mizet, who just recently did an opening of his farm. And congratulations to him again. He's doing an excellent job leading the way. I have Casey Heeks, who's also doing a lot of products, and she's actually transitioning now from the farming of the raw material into manufacturing.
Yes.
So she's doing her jams and packaging goods, and I think that needs to be celebrated.
I do feel like it needs to be celebrated because
Yeah.
I purchased a few of her products before, and
Yeah.
she does have a high quality product. Her
Yes.
packaging is on point,
Yeah.
and I think she's doing a really good job.
Yes. I mean, when I see Caicos grits, Caicos Farms grits on a store, I'm like, man, if I could get us all shelf stock out right now with Caicos Farms grits, Caicos Farms jam, Caicos Farm corn, and then Isaac Farm, that's Pastor Courtney Farm.
Yes.
And so I see the vision of one day coming to Providenciales and IGA putting the American stuff on the back shelf. And the front shelf, you see Isaac Farms product, Caicos Farms product. Maybe one day Jasmin Walkin Farms product because I'm
Yes.
interested in agriculture as well. But I see it growing. I also see, based on a conversation I had with some consultants a few days ago, I see commercial farm expanding as well.
Okay.
What we need now is we need further investment from government, of course, but I also feel like we need to explore more external partnership
Okay.
with international farmers. You have corporate farmers overseas in other countries looking for new ground, looking for new opportunities, and North Caicos is the place.
Yes.
So I'm excited about that. In my conversation with them, though, I told them when you develop this policy, you make sure the government knows that whatever farming is done in North Caicos, a North Caicos resident must be partnership when it comes to the ownership.
Right.
As district commissioner, I won't allow any other sort of arrangement. Believe me on that.
Right. I just want to tap into what you said just now about getting a partnership with international persons. Is it because we don't have the manpower? Is it because we don't have the equipment? What did you say that you feel like
All of the above. All of the above. We don't have the manpower. We don't have the equipment. We don't have, I mean, the skills in some sense. We have the idea.
Right.
We have the ground. We have the land, and we have the need.
Yes.
And we have a market. What we need now is the resources. And I think sometimes as small island people, and this is speaking nationally,
Yes.
we tend to want to do everything on our own too much, when that is not the case. Bigger countries, independent countries, are working with other people. So as a people, we got to start being afraid to recognize the need
Right.
for help. So people out there interested and willing to partner with us, let's do it.
Right.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, what further investment you think is needed for North Caicos? What do you think is needed for North Caicos, investment-wise?
Right now, North Caicos economy is like a newborn baby. You want to hold her, you want to kiss her, and just scoop her out. But if you're not careful, if you don't take good care of her, what happens to a baby that is not taken care of? They become malnutrition,
Yes.
and the growth is stifled. That's how I describe North's economy. We are on the way in terms of a big burst of growth. It's been a while in coming, especially in the real estate, and when it comes to the development of Airbnb villas, and even other industries. What I want to see now is I want to see a more intentional effort for the people of North Caicos, for opportunities to be created for the people of North Caicos to become owners of the economy.
Yes.
We don't want what happened in Bravo to happen in North Caicos. We're not having it.
Everyone keep picking on Bravo, but go ahead.
Because, no offense, but
Yes.
we don't need to repeat that because it's a challenge, Veronica, for Turks Islands and Providenciales to own this economy.
Yes.
It's our uphill climb.
Yeah.
And one of the things that made it a challenge was we didn't spot the problem early enough. We didn't spot the unlevel playing field early enough and bring our people up to par.
Okay.
Well, North Caicos, we still can fix that.
Right.
And one of the things that I've been talking about, and I'm determined that it's fixed. And one of the ways to fix that is easier access to capital.
Right.
Our people have ideas, we have vision, we have businesses that we want to do, but we don't have the capital to start it out.
Yes.
And I'm not satisfied with the access to capital in this country in general. I think it's too difficult for President Islanders to get money to start up. And So I see that being a requirement. We have a lot of other untapped industries in North as well.
Okay.
That I'm afraid if we don't tap into it now, someone gonna fly in there or take the boat over there and say, wait, this is needed. Let me bring this over. And we're not against development, but as I said before, we want it to be homegrown.
Yes.
You know, and we have a need for more excursion. We have a need for more tour companies. I also see, I mentioned earlier, I learned about something 2 weeks ago, agricultural tourism.
Yes.
And I always thought agricultural tourism was just you sharing with tourists your farm and doing a farm tour. And this lady said to me, she stayed on a farm hotel. I'm like, farm hotel? What is that? And she said, well, the hotel was built, the farm was around the hotel. Everything the hotel used was generated by the farm.
Well, I'll say this to you. Someone recently a local North Caicos person have actually brought that same concept to me.
Yeah.
In terms of that's something they're thinking about it. But it shows you that they're in line with what's going on.
Listen, we can sit here and we can be honest with ourselves.
Yes.
The wealth, too much of the wealth of this country is held by other people and not Turks and Caicos Islanders. Now, what I see possible is a way for us to redirect some of that wealth is through agriculture and other industries. We can create a wealthy Turks and Caicos Islanders. I mean, hopefully, North Caicos, first, but we welcome the others afterwards. I see it as potential to create some new wealth in TCI because it's needed.
It's needed.
The oil economy. My last point on this note would be, I remember hearing a politician in the U.S. say that sometimes people have to work too hard for the economy because the economy isn't working for them.
Right.
We need the economy to work for us.
Great. So let me ask you, talk about the economy working for us, but I want to ask you, all of this that you have said and what are possible opportunities for investment in North Caicos, from a local standpoint, would you say to me that North Caicos is a good place to invest in?
Yes, definitely.
And what would you say to persons who, I'm talking to islanders who have left North Caicos, to encourage to bring them back to the island to embrace these opportunities?
Well, first, buy a ferry ticket and come home for a weekend. That's a start. I promise you. The mosquitoes will welcome you with open arms, but after a while you get used to it. Yeah. Come home, get a rental, and drive from Belfield and then straight to Toby Rock. And then drive back down, go down Center Point, then come back to Q, ride through Battle Creek. There are some dirt roads off the Kings Highway with some real estate sign, Corwin Williams and the Forbes real estate. Follow those signs and drive around. And ask yourself, is this not the most fertile, ripe, ready to invest island? Then what you do is you go on Airbnb.com, you type in North Caicos, and you see what pops up. You type in Grand Turk, see what pops up. And then you type in Providence Hill, you see what pops up. And then you ask yourself, wait, North Caicos is now the second leading island in Airbnb in the country. I need to invest in this now. And that feeling, that's all you can invest in. But right now, if you're looking to build a retirement plan, everybody wants to retire in North, but they don't want to put nothing there. If you want to retire somewhere, you got to invest there.
You have to invest.
You have to invest there. So I am encouraging the diaspora. Nobody have to introduce you to North Caicos. This is where you're from. This is the island that gave you your start. Don't wait until the rest come and take ownership, and then you find yourself fighting for the same piece of land that they have. Now is the time. We have the airport development that is supposed to be on the way. I have no doubt on my mind when if and when that takes place, you're gonna see a boom in North Caicos. And let me say this to Renika, and you may know this better than me. North is very quietly developing.
It is. I like the word you use, quietly developing. And if people can't hear it,
it's being
then they'll be left behind.
When the revenue commissioner told me that data, I was blown away. We have surpassed the capital in terms of Airbnb development in villas. So there's stay there and think that no, North is a way off. North is developing. There's some homes in North Caicos that didn't even know existed. So what I started doing as the district commissioner is just driving around. I said, listen, I got to know my island. I need to know what's happening.
Correct.
And I am shocked at the amount of development I see taking place in some of the reserved, quiet areas of North Caicos. So come home.
Come home.
Yeah.
I mean, this one last point I want to say to you, because I know we're pressed for time here, and talking about coming home. I think a lot of times people look at North Caicos and say there isn't much to do, right? What would you say towards that to someone who have that type of mentality?
Find something to do. First of all, Veronica, I think our concept of a working economy has to change.
Yes.
Our concept of working economy is I have to work for somebody. I need a job. You don't need a job. What you need is a source of income. So create the source of income. Learn, think more entrepreneurially. I ain't sure that's a word, but we make it up this morning. But think more as an entrepreneur.
Yes.
Think more as a business owner. And that's what I love about North Caicos.
Yes.
North Caicos, more than Provo or Greta, has the potential right now to create more local ownership than anywhere else.
I want to say this because it just gave me a whole light bulb moment because you said that think like an entrepreneur. It is the truth. Yeah. I had a conversation recently with someone who had said that they went off to school to be an attorney. They came back and this particular organization didn't hire them. My response to them was, why are you waiting for someone to hire you? You went to be an attorney. All you need to do is open your business and practice law. So, I don't know all the steps to get you there, but at the same time, I'm showing you that you have that potential to be your own boss. And just when you think about North Caicos, a lot of times doing real estate, we refer to, real estate transactions and all the other islands to the attorneys we are familiar with in Provo. Of course, they can transact all of those properties as sale transaction. But wouldn't it be nice if you had someone right in North Caicos we can just refer that person to, because now we know that that person is on the ground, that person is checking all those boundaries, those checking is making sure do what they have to do. And so just talking about creating an entrepreneur, being your own boss, that was the first thing came to my mind just having this conversation. And so like you said, there are a lot of opportunities we just haven't tapped into.
And I think this is a conversation that speaks to the other islands as well. But like I said, the competition is a little bit stiffer, on my island. But there's so much new industries that are needed.
Yes.
We have this mentality of we need a hotel with 200 rooms because it's going to create 60, 80, or say 300 jobs. Yeah, that's the easy way, man. That's the old way. But you know why I'm not so interested in the big hotel development anymore? Because chances are a TCI ain't gonna own it.
So
yeah, but if you build me a little 10-room boutique hotel, a little 8-room, 6-room, the possibility of a Treston Caicos Island owning that is far greater than them being able to fund a 300-room development. So I want to encourage our people to think outside of working for somebody. Think about working for yourself and employing other people. That's how economy grows. Economy grows when you invest in things that create activity. And I go back to the whole access to capital. This is key. We have to stop believing in our people's dreams. Believing in their vision. I always say this: if I can fail with anybody, let me fail with my own. So that's I tell the young people, listen, they come to me sometimes, DC, I need a job. I ask why. Oh, because I ain't working. I said, find something. I said, what are you good at? I like the sea. Get a kayak. Offer tours. Let's work on getting a boat. Now, the thing is, sometimes the idea is there, but that startup resource isn't there. So they feel discouraged. They feel as if, oh, this isn't going to work. I know Turks Island people. We got to see to believe. Okay? And we like money. That's the truth. We like money. We like to have. We like things. So when we see the possibility of having things, be able to buy things, it gives us a better feeling about ourselves. We feel important. We feel valued. So I think that education needs to start on our schools. Let's focus on all these subjects these kids can't use, because what are they going to school for? To learn how to earn a living, right? Let's focus more on that and less on all these these content, teach them how to earn a living.
Right. Yeah, like I said, we're going to wrap this out, but I think it would be remiss of me not to mention, about North Caicos and talking about things to do, not just from an employment standpoint, but just from a social standpoint.
Yeah.
I really admire how the people of North Caicos normally come together as a community, and like you said, create a job, create an event. There's no time where you're looking on Facebook and you don't see an event that's happening in North Caicos. Yeah. You're celebrating someone's birthday. Yeah. You're attending a wake. A wake is supposed to be a sad occasion, but for sure in North Caicos, they have the best wake. And it's a joyous occasion. But I like to see how they come together, have community cleanup. You feel the love and the joy. And sometimes you wonder, did this person, what's the alternative motive? But there's no alternative motive. It's just like you said when we started. It's the caring heart nature of the people where they come together as a community to create a whole community feeling.
While we're wrapping up, I just want to say, and that's one of the dangers of development, losing that sense of community.
Yeah.
So that's why I said we welcome more investment, but I want us to do our best to preserve that part of our culture, that community, Not hitting on Bravo again, but you know what I know growing up. Bravo Day was Bravo Day.
Yes.
You met people in TCI who you ain't seen in a long time.
Yes.
Now, to meet somebody sometimes you haven't seen in a long time, you gotta go to a funeral.
That's true.
Unfortunately.
Yes.
So that sense of community is still there. It's a big island, but when it's time to come together, we still find ways, and I'm looking forward to some of the upcoming activities from my office as well, that we're planning to continue to bring people together. As I mentioned earlier, I'll end where I started. There is no people like North Caicos people.
Great. So let me ask you, just for the sake of it, as a district commissioner, how does someone get in contact with you? Just say if they want to throw out an idea for you about North Caicos or assist with anything.
The easiest way to reach me is on Facebook. You can look for Jasmin Walkin, and you can inbox me a message. You can call me on the telephone number to the bottom of the screen, 649-331-0129. That's no longer a private number. Since I became DC, it's become the public number.
Yes.
I have to go look for a private number now. But that is my contact number. You can also send me an email, which is also on your screen. It's JASWalkin, WALKIN @gmail.com. Shoot me an email and I will respond. The best way to reach me is by WhatsApp contact. I tell people I may miss a telephone call, but I do my best to always respond to my WhatsApp messages.
Great.
So WhatsApp me.
Thank you. Well, again, I would like to say to you, thank you so much, Mr. Jasmin Walkin, for being a part of this program today, which is Let's Talk TCI Real Estate. It's always a pleasure when I can sit and have a conversation about real estate in Turks and Caicos Island, and also when I can have a professional to be able to speak to the audience and let them know what it is going on these islands. I think there's a lot to learn about all of our islands in the chain, and what good way to do it by having someone who's knowledgeable about it to share with us. So as usual, thanks again for all of you who are listening. Please add any comments in the section that you would like. And if you have any contribution that you would like to share in North Caicos, of course, you can reach out to Jasmin Walkin at any time. Until next time, stay safe and remain blessed. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed on this show belong solely to Let's Talk TCI Real Estate and not that of Keller Williams TCI or any of its affiliates. Any action you take upon the information provided on this show is strictly at your own risk, and Let's Talk TCI Real Estate guest or host will not be liable for any losses and damages in connection with the use of the material. I am not an investment advisor, broker, or dealer.